Britton has spent 45 years coaching teams across the Chippewa Valley, now has his first chance to serve as a head coach.
This is a dream come true. It's the pinnacle of my career.
Another throw off here. That's going to be number 6, Lorenzo Thompson throwing it, and that's going to be a bit of a duck in the air. Returned now by number 1 for Devon. He's going to get a little bit of wiggle room in there, but he's not going to get too far.
One down situation, we're about to knock it in.
Freeman, handoff right up to the side, and that's another touchdown in there. Is Devon Ford. Right off to the hound. That was a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a good play. Wade Freeman noticing most strong.
DeVilo in the backfield. Oh, that's going to be a fumble, and it's going to end up in the hands of number 4 for the Axe Men, all the way down to the sideline. Did he get in? He did. Oh, man. Antoine Holloway.
You're watching Inside the Axe Den, hosted by LeCedric Green and TJ Bartholomew, brought to you by Shady Sports Network. Thank you to the Eau Caire Axe Men for the opportunity to do this show with them and head coach Jim Britton. Please enjoy the show.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Axe Den. And you know who I am. I am Cedric Green, the bus driver. I wasn't here last week, so TJ, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you go ahead and take the reins. I just loved setting it off, though.
Excuse me. Well, welcome everyone to another week of Inside the Axe Den. I'm here, TJ, Cedric, and of course, Coach Britt. How you doing, Coach? Opening week didn't go quite as we would have hoped, but the team showed a lot of fight, a lot of heart. And how are you guys doing tonight after practice now?
After the game, it was a long bus ride home. But we really reevaluated. We told the guys what we need to work on, and we'll have another film session. And you know, we beat ourselves. And that the Ozark Lunkers are a good team, and they're well coached. And our team is a very good team and well coached. It's just that it didn't bounce our way. But we flushed that game, and we're on to the Arkansas Diamonds coming into our house. And hopefully we're going to have a great crowd and put on a good show and come out with a dub.
There you go. There you go.
Absolutely. And Arkansas, another team who this past weekend had a rough opening week as well. So it's going to be definitely a battle of two teams. Neither one wants to drop to 0-2 in an 8-game season. So that should be a heck of a matchup. But I just wanted to, obviously we're going to go over the game. We have some questions, things like that. But first off, we were talking off camera about the injury that happened during the unfortunate injury that happened during the game that required the player to have to go to the hospital afterwards and things. You were able to say that you have some updates for any fans watching.
Yes. Been in constant contact with his wife, whether it be by phone call. Mostly it's text. Matthew's dad talked to me today because there's some logistical things and insurance type things that have to be taken care of. And a social worker called today as well. And that's really not my expertise. So I had to defer to our team president, Dr. Michael Kubin, and also to Mr. Jeff Holmes, the owner of the league and our owner. And so what happened with Matthew could have happened to anybody. He just happens to be a big cog in our wheel. And just a great person, first and foremost, great character, great leader. And he got hit and dislocated his kneecap. And so taken out on a stretcher, went to the hospital. He's at the Cox medical facility, and they have all kinds of medical facilities there, Mercy Hospital, etc. But he went to Cox Health, and so after the game, we went to the hospital to give him some belongings. And when I got up to the 9th floor, he had just gotten out of surgery and was wheeled in to his room. And the nurses and things were in there, and they said, "Well, your coach is outside is it okay if he comes in? He goes, yeah, get him in here. So I was able to see him. He was still kind of, under the anesthesia, but he cried and I cried because there's such an emotional connection that a coach, no matter if you're head coach or assistant, it doesn't matter. You have a connection with those players. And our three pillars, again, are faith, and family and love. And so when I got in there, Matt obviously was very emotional and said, hey, I was going to be Superman. I told you I was going to be Superman. And I said, well, sometimes Superman gets bit by kryptonite, and it's going to be okay. And we said our things that we needed to say. And I said, well, I've got the whole team. We got to get back because we got a 10, 12-hour drive, but I wanted to make sure you were okay. A couple other players came up quick just to say hi. And then we loaded the bus back. And so Matt had a rod, as far as I understand it, ended up going back into the ER to set it because they couldn't do it normally and it would have been too painful. So then he went to ER and then they put a rod in, as I understand it. And then he had a traction bar from the shin and then one up at the middle of his thigh. And hopefully that's going to be removed Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. And then depending on what happens and how he's able to handle that, then he'll travel back to the Twin Cities area where he lives with his wife. His wife drove down overnight. So our team put his wife and her best friend up in a hotel so they can be there with him. And then how insurance works or whatever that is, the owner of the Ozarks Lunkers is a fantastic individual. Great guy. He and I talked a lot before the game and then after, and he went over to actually see him in person and a couple of his personnel. And Matt's dad talked to me this morning and said, depending on insurance or whatever, if that doesn't cover it, the owner of the Ozarks Lunkers will make sure that his travel expenses are taken care of. And that doesn't happen very often. And they were phenomenal hosting us, and their hospitality was second to none. And it even affected the EMT personnel and before I left. And so, yeah, out of a bad situation, there's a lot of good in the world. And I saw that Saturday.
Nice. When you're in a moment dealing with an injury like that, right?
Yep.
What really takes priority? Is it, the injury, or is it thinking, next man up, or are you going through your mind thinking the players you're bringing for a replacement? What was going through your mind at that moment?
Players for replacement per se, getting someone in. We did that as of yesterday when we had yesterday on our long bus ride back. So you're in that mode, but at the moment, Matt was in excruciating pain and just said, I love you, coach. I love you, coach. As he's putting on a gurney, and there is that special bond. Again, like I said earlier, between any coach and their players, doesn't matter what title you have. And so wanting him to get checked out, because we knew it was pretty serious and it was up along the dasher board besides. So to get him, to get him there and get him to the hospital was our utmost concern. And then after he gets loaded, then you worry about your team. Okay, does the wind come out of your sails a little bit? Yeah, and that's natural. And it did. But then it's also next play mentality. And so we got to continue. And I said Matt would want it that way. So we're going to play. And we did. And then I let my assistant coaches take over the game for a bit while I went to the ambulance before he left and made sure he had his belongings and things. And yeah, so you worry about the well-being of your player first. Then you worry about the well-being of your team. and the game, and then whatever happens after that, it's still all about Matt and then keeping the guys, heads up, whatever, because you lost the game beside. So that didn't, and I forgot Matt even asked if we had won or lost, and that was hard to take. But yeah, and then now and unfortunately that's the brutal incident that happens in the game. He's done for the season, obviously. So that's hard to begin with because his dad said he's never had an injury before. So this is his first injury, and then it's like that. So I told him once an Axeman, always an Axeman. So you'll be back next year, hopefully, as good as new, and we'll go on from there. And his wife and him, I texted today, and I said, when you're able and willing, and you want to come, you come and be with the team on the side or in the players bench and come into the locker room. You're still a part of this team, and that's how you got to approach it, I guess. And then we got somebody new came in today to try to replace, and it's hard to replace it, Matt, but we just do our best and try to fill the holes as best we can.
Yeah, and that's this is the part of the game that unfortunately does happen, but obviously as coaches, fans, everyone watching the game, we don't want to see it, but again, unfortunately, it does happen sometimes. But it's good to hear the good updates, definitely for him, and look forward to seeing him on the sideline in one of the game broadcasts as well. Once he heals up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, it's going to be some rehab and obviously a long rehab. I don't know how long that'll be, but I would suspect, a good 6 months probably. And then he'll have up until, next February or March when we have tryouts again, and he'll come back strong as ever, hopefully. Unless he decides he doesn't want to play anymore, and that's totally fine too, because he does coach in the cities, and he's such a good kid and great attitude and just a natural born leader. So when you lose those pieces of the chess piece or a piece of the puzzle, you just got to try to find the right pieces or the right people to fill those holes. But I'm sure we will. We brought this kid in today and he looked good, so we'll see.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Well, looking back on the game itself this past weekend, overall, obviously the end result was not a win, but that first offensive play, man, it was awesome. Just an instant touchdown pass. What can you walk us through that play call a little bit and just, man, did it work?
Yeah. Harrison Zamoras, who also is a running backs coach at the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire here in town, and he's my OC. And and I think I told you before, and I've told people in the newspaper and other interviews that he's just a really smart guy. And my defensive coordinator, MJ Johnson, another smart guy. So I surround myself with smart guys because I'm probably not that smart, but they are really, really, really top-notch guys and high character guys. So that's number one. That's why I got them. Number two, it was just a deep call, and the guys that we have are the ones that we have during that play. There's 3-4 of the guys that are just blazers. They can leave a vapor trail when they run past you. And so on that play, Malik, who is our quarterback, is second to none. He's got a powerful, powerful arm, and he can thread the needle, and he did on one play where I think it was Sinquay caught it, or maybe Bo, but he threaded the needle between two guys and scored a touchdown towards the end of the game. But yeah, he's got a rocket arm, and I thought, oh, here we go, we're gonna roll, and then we got ourselves in a conundrum where, and we practiced it, but it wasn't to our liking, and we really worked on it today. Was our tempo. Guys kind of were walking up to the line and 20 seconds. So we got caught I think we had 4 or 5 possessions inside the 10 and inside the 5 that should have been points. So there's, figure if you make 3 of those, you're talking, 18 at least, if not, if you make 5 possessions at 6 points, that's 30. And we had already scored 32. It's a difference in the game. And what we had was they had little play clocks, no excuses, but they were play clocks far end, and they weren't as big as they wanted. And we just didn't do that, and we shot ourselves in the foot on those 4 or 5 possessions, and those 4 or 5 possessions cost us the game. So no excuses here. We worked on it today at at length. And setting the ball down, setting it, because as soon as the white cap sets the ball, beep, the whistle blows, and you got 20 seconds. And we were pushing that time limit, and we got that down to about 15 seconds, maybe a little less today, and that's the tempo we need to have. So a lot of correction with the first game, and I look at it optimistically too, even though we lost, is that these guys have really only known each other for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and really have only played that besides tryouts and cuts. So I'm happy with where we are. Don't like the loss, obviously, but today gave me a lot of optimism, and I was really excited, and we fought back, and that's the thing. We didn't quit, and that's what I'm most proud of. These guys, there's no quit in these guys, and they're competitive, and they're just great character guys. And so that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of, is that we didn't give up. We know we can be better. We know we are better, and we got it corrected today, and we'll just continue to correct and make corrections and tweak it up until Saturday kickoff or throw off.
There you go. I mean, that's all you can do, right? Especially like you said, having short amount of time to get together, come together, put it all together, install it, and then go out and and perform. That's a lot to ask. With you said you're making little tweaks. So are you looking to build upon the game plan from last week, or would you be trying to go in an entirely different direction, especially with having the injuries?
Great question. A little bit of both, LeCedric. We switched some things up a little bit, and our one running back tweaked his hamstring, so he was a game time decision. So he didn't play, and he's another big athlete. So one of the guys that obviously we cut was at the ready. He's in the area in the cities, and we called him up yesterday. He was at practice today, looked really good. So that'll give this other guy time to heal. But the nature of the beast is, you still have to produce. And if you're injured, that's very hard to do, obviously. So that's again, that brutal part of on the other side of the injury, is that if you're injured and you can't go, then we have to do what's best for our team and to win. And so, some guys are either inactive or we have to let them go. And then, it's the nature of the beast. And then you just find somebody else, and away you go.
Now, just recapping the game a little bit today to myself, it was really a game that didn't truly start to get away till the second half. So, I mean, again, talking about that showing hard, keeping the fight alive, it was really into the fourth quarter, and even in the fourth quarter, you guys were able to put it together a little bit, score 20 points in the quarter. Do you think that was more of finally getting those first game jitters out of the way?
Yeah, I think so. A lot. I mean, on any team, no matter who you're playing, you have the rookies who have never played, and in this arena league, that is, and then you have, the guys have been around a couple years, and then you got the guys like on the back end of Willie McCaleb, guy I've coached with, and he teaches in the district, same district I do, and he's like 36, but he's in fantastic shape. So you have a good mixture, and we had a good halftime talk, and guys weren't pointing fingers at each other. Now, does it get heated on the bench? Yes, but that's my job to step in and say, hey. And I had to say it a couple times. We are a team. We're not pointing fingers, and it's the heat of the battle, and we get that, and the guys get that, and I made it known at the end of the game in our post game talk, and the guys understand that, and they apologize, and that's the nature of the beast too. But Harrison decided on some different plays, which is totally fine. That he's got full autonomy, and we added some new different things and wrinkles today. But after the game, we got on the bus, and after we get onto on the road, um, guys are breaking down film, watching it, that kind of thing. So I don't need to get, and our coaches don't get on the players per se in that regard after the game, because we don't need to, and that's not our coaching style. We don't need to get on them because they already know what they've messed up on. So it's just, hey, make the mental notes and let's get them corrected. And so that's kind of our thing today. Guys are sore yet. Then you got that long bus ride too. So yeah, I mean, we still thudded and cracked pads today, but the guys shake that off, and it's that next game, next play mentality, next man up. I mean, we've got some boo-boos within the team and some adversity, but everybody does. So Arkansas Diamonds coming in, they don't care about our injuries. They don't care who's playing, who's not. They're just going to bring their team and put the best product on the field too, just like we are. So, you got to have a short attention span when it comes to a loss, or a win for that matter, because it's, I mean, another 4 or 5 days and you're playing again. So it's got to be a quick turnaround.
Right. And I mean, with this being your first home game, do you foresee the energy being a bit different though, as opposed to going on the road for your first game?
Yeah. And the place that we played it's the fairgrounds, but they never have to take down their field. And it's just it's a really kind of nice, nice little facility. But ours, our setup and takedown is crazy, because our turf is supposed to come tomorrow. So we can't practice on that. We have our field house that has turf that we practice on, but we probably, if it comes tomorrow, they get it set up, maybe Thursday, we'll be able to practice on it. We'll be able to run into the dasher boards, get acclimated to it again. And then, and we have just the newest arena in the league, and it's a beautiful place to play. It gets loud. So yeah, we're expecting big things. And I secured from across the stadium from where we are, our arena, there's a bunch of businesses along, I'd probably 2 or 3 blocks long, that I secured overflow parking, and then they're going to have a tailgate party. I'm going to have food truck, and I assume music. And so, yeah, we're just super excited. We weren't able to have tailgating last year, and we got that secured this year. So, yeah, I'm just super excited, and I just hope we have a great crowd. It looks like a tickets have sold and also have been given out to get people there. And we're just super excited because it's Family Appreciation Day of the Chippewa Valley. And we're just ready. Our guys are ready to go back to work. And they took the loss just as hard as we do. But yet again, the same token, they've been coached and taught that, hey, we got to flush this. Let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, I mean, look, post game, especially when players and coaches go as well. Man, those are fun. I remember we did that a couple times when I was with the Lehigh Valley team in the area. Fans really get a kick out, especially the younger fans, because they actually get to intermingle with the players and coaches. I mean, like, you don't get that anywhere else, and it
No.
just really helps build community. So that's really awesome to hear.
Well, yeah, and these businesses that allowed us to do this. And I did that back in, I think it was March-ish. And they just were very receptive. And our trade for them using those spots or ticket to give them complimentary tickets for their businesses, because they have to put up with, the food truck and the inconvenience a little bit. But they were more than willing to do that as long as they had some tickets for their employees. Hey, what better trade off in business than getting fans than, hey, guy across the way that owns OK Tire. He's got 3 or 4 businesses connected there. He's got 15 or 20 employees just in one building, and then the next building he's got, so there's like 30 or 40 people that will get free tickets. And then if their spouse comes or however that works, they'll figure that out. But, let's say you double that, that's 80 people. And that's 80 new fans. So, it's a slow walk. It's a slow build up, and winning will also help take care of itself. So I'm just so darn excited. I'm optimistic. Yeah, I was sulking a little bit, and stung a little bit that I lost, and the guys felt bad that I didn't get a first win. And like I told them, hey, this is not about me. It's not about the coaches. It's about us. It's about you guys. So to get them back focused on what really the spotlight should be is on them. We get them in the positions, but they're the guys that got to go out and play and take the shots and get the injuries, etc. So yeah, and they always know this. I love them to death, and they know that, and they give that back in return. So I'm just totally optimistic and so looking forward to our first home game and hopefully getting that win.
There you go. I know you just said, it is about the players and not you guys as the coaches, but how was the feeling of being out there for that first game as the head coach?
Uh, um, uh, back when I played college ball, there'd be times where I'd get, I don't know why, but I would get, and I'm not usually a very nervous person, but I would get nervous, and then I'd end up running to the bathroom and having to throw up. But there was kind of a calm to it. But then as it got closer, and then we walked down the hallway to the entrance, and then it started, then my stomach kind of was in knots, and then it got exciting. And we didn't introduce ourselves as individuals. We introduced ourselves as a team. And I know that'll probably be different here at home because that's your home field, but that's how we do it. My team is so non-individualistic, and who gets this and who gets that and who has this stat or who has that. We really don't worry about that, because it'll come at some point. And so my guys are really unselfish. And those are the kind of players that we tried out and we wanted on this team and picked, were the guys that have great character, are great leaders, whether it's vocally or internally, doesn't matter. And they're just good character, quality guys. And yeah, guys come and go, but the core of our team, I couldn't ask for, and I've coached a lot of years, I couldn't ask for better men in that locker room.
And I cannot wait for this weekend. It's going to be a great scene at home, that's for sure. Definitely a lot of riled up fans, riled up players, riled up head coach. Why not, right?
Heck yeah, let's chop some wood, man.
Going into this game against the Diamonds, obviously, one thing we haven't touched on yet, definitely going to have to cut down on the turnovers, especially in the red zone. There were 2 or 3, I believe, that were thrown into the end zone, a couple more throughout the game. Do you attribute that to just, again, first game, really having the system in place against an opponent besides basically yourselves in practice? Or, is it maybe adjusting the play calls moving forward as well?
TJ, it's a little bit of both. And Harrison had a great, he's such a great tactician. And I don't want this loss to ever be belittling, and I know you guys aren't, but the general public, I don't want people to belittle or think, oh my God, coaches, that's not the case at all. He can adjust on the fly. He's very good about that. And when you shoot yourselves in the foot and you create self-inflicted penalties, that it just you just lose your mojo, you lose your momentum, and then you turn around and they might get a quick touchdown or whatever, or you have a breakdown or miscommunication. Then they got up on us pretty quick, and then now we're in rally mode. Now we got to come back, and I'll tell you, Malik can hum that ball, and when it goes past you, you hear it whistle as he throws it. And he got rushed, and we talked about it today. Like any other NFL quarterback or whatever else, you're rushed and you throw off your back foot. You don't have that power. You don't have that zip on the ball, and then it's going to get picked, and that happens, and we're going to get better at that, and he's going to get better. And I know we talked about it today, and he goes, Coach, I've never thrown 5 interceptions in my life. I said, well, guess what? You did. It's over with. It's done with. Now let's go forward and let's not throw one every, if we get one every game, okay, but try not to get 0. We're chasing perfection. We're not perfect, but we're changing it. And he's got a great mindset. He's a great leader. And I'm ready for him to have a comeback, and just a great, great kid. And so, yeah, I mean, you adjust on the fly too. And, our running back, and we plan to run the ball a little bit more, but when you're running back just at, as warm-ups and coach, I can't go because of my ham. And he had tweaked it in practice, but he had iced it and did the rehab and thought he could go, and it tweaked. Well, that's just before the game. So now that you got to adjust your game plan. And so we were going to run the ball a little more. And I'm not going to give anything away to the Hot Springs Diamonds, but we're in a good place, and he's in a good place. So game's over and done with. Can't change it. So let's just move forward. And that's the kind of mindset he has too. So yeah, we're ready to go.
There you go. That's how you gotta be, right? You gotta keep it moving, Like you said, this weekend, or this week coming up, it's Family Appreciation Night. Last thing I got for you, what's your message to the home fans out there coming in for the game?
Well, doors open at 6, and get your food and get your game face on, and hopefully we just put on a good show. And I want them to be as rowdy and loud as they can be. I mean, yeah, it was loud down there, but in our arena, if we pack that house, it can be deafening. And that's what we hope we get. It'll be quiet when we're on offense, and it's deafening when they're on offense and we're on D. And then anything can happen. And we're switching up some things on defense too a little bit, that we're not going to give away either. But MJ and I talk things through, and we talk on the bus, and he's got control of it. And I was out on the field the first quarter, and he and I talked, and I said, you know what, why don't you just go out there? And so again, it's not an ego thing with me, and he sometimes sees things better than I do. And sometimes I see things better from the bench that he might not see. So we coordinate that, and he's just a very humble guy too. And so we work very well together. All 3 of us work very well together. And we're hoping to get our D-backs coach on board here after, I think it's this weekend. DC Connors, friend of MJ's, will be our D-backs coach. So then we can get even more in-depth coaching, and I do the D-line / O-line, and then MJ does linebackers and defense, and Harrison does the O. So yeah, we're just super excited, and we're in a good place. Yeah, it's not good to go 0-1, and then we're 1-8 over the last year in a game. So we talked about that too, is that we got to change, and we have higher standards, and that's what we got to do. We got to reach those higher standards and get over that hump because nobody likes to lose. But yeah, we're going to turn it around. I'm very optimistic, especially this weekend. I'm just so ready to play, and the guys are ready, and and it'll be jitters for them too, because they'll be in front of a larger crowd. And so and they really haven't been inside the arena per se with the turf and dasher boards down. So we'll be able to do that Thursday, hopefully, and practice in there and have music and just have a good time.
Yeah. One thing I did want to ask about, because I caught it during the game, but at the same time, it was kind of like what I don't think I believe the announcers were even a little kind of confused on what was happening. There was a bench warning or penalty in the game. What exactly
Yeah.
happened with that?
Okay. Okay. And I never want to accuse another coach, because the coach and I met and we talked probably 15 minutes or so before the game even started. And he's a really quality guy too. But towards the end of the game, our receiver, Josh Murray, was going on a go route and was looking up at the ball. And one of their guys left his feet and with the crown of the helmet hit him right on the right side of his jaw. And then the game was on. And there was this kid kept jaw jacking Josh and what have you. And I had to get out on the field quickly because I didn't want anything to happen to Josh or get him in trouble. Because if you get suspended for a game or kicked out, you're suspended for the next game. And Josh is a true pro's pro, and he works really hard at his craft. And it was a very unfortunate incident, and I considered it. And I'm not saying this about his coach or how they're coached. It was a target, and it was unnecessary, and it could have had a very bad outcome, especially if his mouth guard wouldn't have been in. What could have happened? Broken jaw, broken neck, whatever. It was totally uncalled for, and he was looking for the ball up in the air like I'm looking, and didn't even see the guy coming. The guy hit him in the jaw pad and underneath the jaw pad with the crown of his helmet, and knocked Josh into the dasher boards. And Josh sat there for a little bit, got up, and then this guy is kind of taunting him a little bit. And Josh obviously said his piece, and then I got out there and said, Josh, you just got to let this go. I know it sucks, but you got to let it go. Then a bunch of their players came over and said, hey, this guy, we don't do that. That's not how we're supposed to play. And there were 4 or 5 other calls that should have been called that weren't. Didn't cause us to lose. That was our own doing. But there were some calls that I think needed to be called. And I talked to our team president, who is in charge of the officials, and just said, hey, my team has a lot of class, and this was a very classless act. It was intentional. And so this guy is going to lose the next game, but I do not know what the penalty is from there. And that'll come from Michael and the league itself, because there's no place for that in the game, whether it's, high school, college, professional, there's just no place for it. And so I voiced my opinion, and that's all I can do. And my player's okay now. We talked about it tonight after practice was done, and so we're all good. It's just that it's an unfortunate incident that should never happen. And yeah, so hopefully it's dealt with, and we don't see any more of that during the year. But that's kind of what that stemmed from. And then MJ, my defense coordinator, was a little heated, and that was probably the bench warning, but I was not there to hear that because I was out on the field trying to control our guys and get them back. So yeah, it's the heat of the battle, but it was unnecessary. And so luckily they kicked him out of the game, but it wasn't the first time that happened throughout the game with the same player. So that'll end up, through the ownership to figure out what they do. And whatever they do is, that's out of my hands. But yeah, that's how we dealt with it, and that's probably what it stemmed from, TJ. And so my guys are taught to be very respectful, give everybody dignity, and I did not blame Josh, even though he was very heated. He wouldn't listen to me right away, which I get because you're heated. But afterward, he said, "Coach, I'm sorry," and so that's all I needed to hear. And I knew why he did what he did, and I didn't blame him for that. And we have a great relationship, and yeah, it just should never happen in this game, and he could be really seriously injured. So yeah, that's probably what it stemmed from, TJ.
Cedric, got anything else, Cedric?
I was trying to think. I mean, I could dive. I probably got a lot more we could dive into, especially just touching on that.
If you want, if you
Um,
want to, go ahead. Go ahead. It depends on time for you guys. It doesn't matter to me.
right. I think we'll have to save it for next week's episode.
That sounds good.
But no, definitely looking forward to catching a game this weekend. And looking forward to hopefully a win from you guys, right? It's time to turn it around, and I'm sending that energy out to you for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And I got to think of the coach now. He was out on the field and he got tackled and then he hit his head. Is it Terry Bowden? Is that one of the head coaches that played? He was on the field. Yeah, he was on the field, and I don't know if he calls offensive. I don't know if it was offense defense, and there was either interception or whatever, and the guys collided, and he went over backwards and hit his head. His head just snapped. He went off on a stretch. He came back, but that might be another reason. Might be another reason why MJ. I was kidding him today. Might be a reason why I don't want to be on the field because I don't move as swiftly as I used to when I played college ball. So this old cat doesn't move very fast. So these guys are big and strong and fast, and that's all I'd need. Break me in half.
Right. I'm good. Gosh.
Yeah. And that's one thing too is, I'm humble, and I don't look for credit. So if MJ and Harrison are both humble, very kind people, and so we joke around all the time. But if Michael wants to be out there, more power to him. I don't need to be out there. I have we have our interviews and things like this that I get to talk about those guys and my players. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, and here me and Cedric don't lunge at you, so
Hey,
it's also a little bit safer.
That's always amazing. And I'll tell you this, besides I appreciate you guys, I told you that. I get so stoked and so excited to be done with practice so I can do this.
Hey.
I've never done it before, and you two guys are fantastic. And sorry I was late today, but we had more paperwork to do, which a coach hates to do, but it's things you have to do. And the players don't like it either, but that's just the nature. But no, I look so forward to Monday nights coming to talk to you too and try to answer your questions as best I can and as honestly and truthfully as I can. And you two are great people, and I just love doing this.
There you go. Hey, we appreciate you as well. I do have something before we get out of here. I know it wasn't a win, but there had to be a player that stood out, your MVP of the game. Who was your player of the game?
Oh boy. Well, I would say Malik, obviously quarterback. Bo Butler I think it was him that caught the first touchdown pass. Richie Murphy, Willie McCaleb, they all played well. They just all, it's hard to pick out one or two, because that's not the way I am, but those guys did stick out. And your quarterback is generally your leader, but they also take the criticism. With Aaron Rodgers, everybody said he's he can be this and he can be that, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's a 4-time Pro Bowler, and he's been around forever and knows the game inside out. So you got to rely on those guys. So those guys stick out. And Malik is just a humble, quiet guy. But boy, when the game's on the line, for the most part, he's looking to throw darts. And so yeah, he really stuck out. And I would also have to say, I got to think here. Akeem Peterson. We had a center, and the center went down and ended up. That was like the week before, so so we released him, and Akeem came in and just did a great job too. And he's a very athletic guy. He normally plays linebacker apparently, but he was our center, and he did an admirable job too, because he came in maybe Wednesday of last week, and we were running plays and everything. So he would be another one. So usually your quarterback and your center are the top two, because that's where the game starts. And defense wins championships, but offense scores the points too. So it's a give and take. But yeah, I would say those players.
That was a good question, Cedric.
Yeah, very good.
That was a
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, again, this Saturday at 7, I believe, is kickoff.
7 or 7:05, I think. I think it's 7:05, but I could be
5.
mistaken. Yeah, I think it's 7:05.
Yeah, this Saturday, at home, first home game of the season. Everyone who is able to get on out there, show your support, and let's cheer them on, because the Axemen are going 1-0 at home this weekend. I can feel it.
Yeah, me too. And it's going to be like 87 degrees and muggy out, 72 degrees and cool inside. You can have some pizza, brats, a beverage of your choice. Yeah, it's going to be ruckus. I hope it is, and I hope we put a good show on for not only our fans but our sponsors that are there, and these kids will get some autographs and those kind of things. That's what I'm most excited for, is to see these little kids. See the players and interaction, and those guys are going to be accessible until it's time they kick us out of the arena for signing autographs. So yeah, we're excited, and hopefully next week we talk. We're 1-1.
There we go. There we go. And they still have some of those 4-packs left, guys. So if you're looking something to do and you're in the area, I mean, you can get a 4-pack for less than $100. Some food, catch a game, entertainment, and food is always.
Yeah, I think it's 4 tickets, your choice of pizza, brat, or hot dog, and 4 drinks. And that's a steal, and hope a lot of people take advantage of that and see them out there. And Axe Nation is rowdy and ruckus, and cheer us on to a victory.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. Thank you, Coach. I think that's all we got.
Okay.
TJ, you got anything else?
Hey man, I'm ready to sit down and watch him battle the Diamonds already, man. Saturday can't come quick enough.
Yeah,
Right?
that's for sure.
Like you said, let's go chop them down. Cool. Well,
Yes.
Coach, thanks for joining us. TJ, always great to have you with us. Everybody out there watching, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you checking in. And like we said, check out the Eau Caire Axe Men next Saturday at 7 p.m. They'll be looking to put it down on the Arizona Diamonds, or Arkansas Diamonds. So
It's all right.
good luck, Coach. Good luck. Thank you
Hey,
guys for watching us, and we hope everyone has a wonderful night. Check out Shady Sports Network. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, everyone. This is TJ from Shady Sports Network. I am excited and proud to be the first one to announce that we as a network are introducing a digital magazine, official one called Shady Sports Magazine. As many of you know, the bread and butter of our network is covering arena and indoor football, and that's exactly what this magazine is going to be about. It is going to be the first ever arena and indoor football central magazine, all the leagues included. You're going to also have a bunch of articles in there about past teams, going down memory lane. It's just going to be a one-stop shop for the already diehard fan. It's going to be an easy spot to get all of your info, no matter which league or however many of the leagues you may watch. And for the new fan or the casual fan, it may help you turn into a diehard fan now, because you're going to be able to get all the info super quick and easy, sent directly into your email. We will announce in the upcoming weeks when the inaugural issue is going to be released. And believe me, we will definitely keep you updated on our shows and network as a whole on how to sign up for that list to get it. Email for free every month. Thank you to the fans, and thank you for everyone watching. As always, like, follow, share, subscribe, and most important, enjoy the show and keep watching. Thank you, and see you guys later.